just read this message from a guy. I'm trying to get my iPad back in working order. For the last like 2 years, it's just been a paperweight just chilling over there. But now I'm in a place in my life where I like need my iPad, I need a laptop, I need more than just my phone. So I'm cleaning up the messages on my iPad to make storage, and I have a text from this guy. He goes, this is from May 2022. He goes, good morning. I say, morning, who is this? He puts a little like emoji and he goes, Michael, we met on Bumble last year and I never followed up on a date. I'm such a bitch. I respond 12 hours later and I say, we matched literally like a year ago? Question mark, question mark. I'm laughing out loud. And then he never responded. It's so funny. Like, why was I so cunty?
Mean things I've done to my sister. This was pretty recent, but I basically came home with a chocolate and I told her that I found it in my backpack and that it was 5 years old and that I found it on the tube 5 years ago. And I obviously didn't tell her that before she ate it. So she ate it and then she was like, this tastes really bad. But that was actually not true. She still doesn't know that that's not true until she sees this video. My mom just gave it to me earlier that day. Years ago, I hacked and stole her Roblox account 3 times. First time, I found out her password. I stole all her Adopt Me pets, all of her Royal High stuff, and then I told my cousin the password and she actually hacked the account. The second time was when Royal High released the dorm update for the new campus, and it was like you could decorate your dorm, and I had no money left. Well, diamonds. So I went onto her account and I stole all her diamonds, and I believe she had like 750,000, and I took all of her sets, and I never told her I did that, so she still doesn't know, and she thinks it was a random person because she did play a scam game. Thank God for me, a couple days before, she'd actually played a game called Free Robux and gave her account details, and so she was like, that must be it. Obviously, I've told my sister that she's adopted before. Has she ever once believed it? No. Somehow this girl has just never fallen for it. But yeah, I hope you guys know that I'm actually a very nice sister. Like yesterday, I literally delivered McDonald's to school for her. Well, to Battersea Park, because it was her sports day. With my money, and it was expensive. So yeah.
Worst kind of realization is realizing that your friend is kind of fucking annoying. Like they just be having opinions and you're like, no, like I would not agree with you in an online comment section. For example, I go to a lot of concerts, so I have like friends from concerts. And I went to this one show and someone in the audience was like a really famous artist, and I was excited to meet this artist. I was like, oh my god, like let me take a picture, let me have a conversation. And this other person that I was with was like, oh, like I fucking hate her, she's so annoying, like she's not good at music, like da-da-da-da. Low-key loud as fuck within earshot of her, like oh my god, like shut up, like within earshot of this artist's friends. And I'm like, oh my god, like what are, like, okay, did no one ever tell you, like, keep those thoughts to yourself? It's like the equivalent of going to a restaurant and then talking super loudly about how bad the food is while you're actively eating at the restaurant. Like, save it for after. I was low-key embarrassed and I was like, bro, like, I didn't say nothing in the moment. I should have said something, but like if you're this hateful in front of her fucking face, like how would you be in a fucking comment section? Like I don't even know. Like this is too much for me. Like where's the peace and love? Or another example is like I was talking to some guy and he was asking me who my favorite artists were, and he was like, oh, I hate all of those people. Oh, I hate all that music. Oh my god, just who fucking cares? Like I don't even hate any music. Like I don't even hate music. Like, how are you out here hating? Like, what? Like, just... Yeah, some people, they just be annoying. I'm not even.
The craziest story of my freaking life. So, my best friend has a twin sister, and this past weekend, her man cheated on her with her twin sister, and she's okay with it. Like, my best friend was fully okay with it. And, like, when she first told me this story, I thought it was, like, a trick question. I was like, so who do you need me to, like, you know? And she was like, no, like, I actually feel fine about it. And I'm like, she was like, it means my man's obsessed with me. And I'm like, it means your man's obsessed with you because he cheated on you with your twin sister? Like, please explain. This girl's losing her damn mind. So then she starts talking and she's like, no, like I tested him. Like I was out of town and I told him to take spicy cubes and I told him to pick any girl in the world, not in the world, but you know what I'm saying, like any girl in the area, in arm's reach. And she was like, take a spicy cube and choose any girl that you want that is accessible. And he chose my twin sister. And I'm like, so you like gave him a green card to cheat on you? And she was like, no, I just wanted to know like if he could have any option in the world when he's on spicy cubes and like emotions are heightened and all he wants is to go to the bedroom, like what is your type? What type of girl are you gonna run to? And out of all the girls he could have chose, he chose the girl that looked just like me. This is her speaking. So she was happy that he chose a girl that looked just like her, because it meant that she really is his type. And I don't know if it like healed some type of weird insecurity she has or something, but I told her that she's a freak and that's not normal. But like, she like tested him and was like, take a spicy cube so I know that you're like ready to like do whatever at any time. And he ran to the girl that looked identical to me. And I was like, that's one way to look at it, I guess. That's one way to heal an insecurity, but this girl's fucking insane.
Story time of how I met a guy at the beach, moved to a different country, and then he showed up at my doorstep 4 years later. So I was on the beach this one day and I met this guy. We hit it off and we were talking pretty much the whole day. He told me that that day was his last day in the country and that he was flying home the next day. We did not exchange numbers because neither of us even had phones at the time. He left the next morning and I thought I genuinely would never see him again. And for the next 4 years, I went on to do my own thing. I was living life, I had a job, I was working. And honestly, I low-key forgot about him. Now, flash forward about 4 years, I'd woken up and it was the day before my birthday. And I was in a completely different country from where the story started. But I was honestly bored where I was and I was with a friend and we kind of just decided, hey, let's go back home. Then we get there, it didn't take that long, it only took a few hours. And we're just kind of hanging out and we go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, it's my birthday, and my friends go to the market. While I was waiting, I got a knock at my door. I thought it was my boyfriend coming to surprise me for my birthday. I opened the door and it's the guy from 4 years ago. At this point, I'm like freaking out and I'm like, there's no way. He tells me that he ran into my friends at the market and had recognized them and talked to them about me. And they told him that I was back in the country. And he's not even from this country either. He was just here on vacation again. So he tells me he hasn't stopped thinking about me since that day 4 years ago. And it was the biggest coincidence that he had ran into my friends. He came in to talk. And the rest is history, because that is the story of how my parents ended up getting married, and they've been married for 25 years now. Thanks for coming. Come back for another story time.
Also, if you're a girl and you notice that there's this other girl and she just seems so interested in you and she's like hyping you up all the time and you've never met her in real life and she's just a mutual friend and you think everything's good, but she knows you're a man, she wants your man. Not only does she want your man, she's gonna do everything in her power to break you guys apart. If she can't get him, she's gonna break you guys apart. But I was just thinking about this because I had an experience like a few months ago with this girl, and she lived in the same area that my man lives in, and she would always like just hit me up on Snap and like ask me random questions like, do you think I look good in this picture? No. She called me one day in the middle of the night. She was like, you need to respond, pick the phone up right now on Snapchat audio. And I'm like, oh my god, like what's going on? I kind of had an idea, but I was like, pick up. She's like, so how long have you guys been together? What? Yeah, how long have you guys been together? Like tell me the details. Like what have you guys done? So I'm on the other end like, is there a reason? Like what is this call about? Oh, something happened. What happened? Something with your man happened. Something with your man. Whole time it wasn't even about him. Whole time bitch was formulating a lie in her head. She had backup. She had her Squidward looking at sister. And she had this old sugar mama looking, yeah, leave it at that. So they're all on the phone like, yeah, he did this, and that. So I'm calling bullshit. So I literally stay on the phone with her for like another 20 minutes. And I end up hanging up and blocking all their asses. And I told him to block all of them. But I'm just saying, if there's a girl who's hyper interested in your man, like she probably wants him. Like she's not trying to be nice. Any girl that will go to the lengths of just texting you and you guys are not even that close, she's hiding something. Like she's evil. She's insecure and evil.
Making content on the internet allows you to make connections that you otherwise wouldn't have made. For example, I just got a text right now from my friend saying, Jez, I think you live in the same building as the guy that I'm dating. Now, this friend that I have, I met her recently in my life. You see some of my TikToks. And I said, wait, what? Like, what makes you say that? She doesn't know where I live. She's never been to my apartment. I said, what makes you say that? She goes, he just told me the same incredibly sad story of the dogs. She saw the TikTok that I made of me talking about how the dog was killed in my building. If you saw the video, you know what I'm talking about. And I said, wait, what? Then I'm like, wait, what's his name? And as she's typing, I'm thinking, I think I know who she's talking about. Well, of course, we're gonna call him Paul. She says, Paul. I say, no fucking way. She goes, wait, do you know him? I said, bitch, do I know him? He lives right beneath me. I've known Paul for the last few years. I sent a screenshot of mine and Paul's text thread to show her that I have his number saved as Paul and then his unit number. So number saved as like Paul 123, you know what I mean? She's like, no fucking way. And I'm like, wait, what the hell? That is such a small world. And I tell her like, girl, if you're ever at his place, you need to text me and tell me. Like, I'm literally right on top of him. I can make this much deeper than I need to, but when I was grieving, like deeply mourning right after my mom died, Stephen Colbert has this quote. He talks about if you can grieve publicly, it allows people in. When you are so vulnerable and open and you share your intimate life experiences, you create room and space to build community. And I know that I'm taking this so much deeper than it needs to. I would never, ever, ever have known that that friend was dating my downstairs neighbor if I wasn't a person who was oversharing on the internet. When you overshare and you allow people into your world, you literally create connections. You literally create community. I otherwise would have never known that. Girl, I have 3 weeks left here. Get your ass here. Invite me over. Let's have some beers. Oh, funny.
These are things I feel like people are lying about liking. Number one is ranch. I just don't get it. I keep trying to force myself to like it and it disgusts me every single time. If you follow my mukbang account, you know I've been trying my best to like it and I just can't. I've had a hatred for it since I was little. I had to fix my lighting. I forgot I got a whole new light. Like, next is Donald Trump. I just don't get it. There's nothing likable about him or his policies. Like, it just baffles me how people can listen to that man talk for more than like a minute and think, yeah, that's the man that I want to run my country. Next is Grey's Anatomy. There is no way you can ever pay me any type of money to sit there and watch a full season of Grey's Anatomy. That shit is so boring. And not just Grey's Anatomy, but honestly any soap opera like type show. Cannot sit there and watch that and not be bored. Next, I'm about to offend a whole community and I'm so sorry, but feather brows, it's time to retire those. I'm not saying that my brows are fantastic. They're definitely not. It's something that I struggle with. I'm not gonna lie to you. I personally would rather take huge 2016 brows over the feather brows any day. That's just me though. I'm about to offend a whole other community and I'm sorry in advance, but bridge piercings, there's no way y'all like those. I'm just personally not a fan. And like I've said before, there are very, very, very few people who can pull them off, but even then it's still kind of iffy. I don't know. I just feel like you have to have a very certain like aesthetic and certain face to pull it off, but a lot of y'all don't have that. I know I don't have that, and people be telling me, Paris, you should get a bridge piercing. I'm like, fuck no. And lastly, there is no way that y'all actually like that Weapons movie. That movie was so goofy and bad and just horrible. The only thing good about it was the Janice lady, and she was barely even in it. So I'm sorry, I feel like y'all just like hop on the hype of shit and just for the fun of it. That movie was not good. One more, Michael Jackson.
I think there's one problem of being Asian is sometimes you look too young at your age. So when I was in Vegas, I was in a supermarket. I was talking to the lady there, and then she was asking, oh, are you here vacation? I mean, yeah, I'm here for EDC. And she asked, are you having a good time? I mean, yeah. And then she's looking at me like, like doubtful. And then she asked me, how did you get in there? And I'm like, I got tickets. She's like, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 22. And then she's like, oh my god, you look like 15. Really? Well, maybe because I don't have my makeup on. Like, just like right now, I don't have my makeup on. But back in that time, I didn't even have my lashes on. Same thing happened when I was on a flight to Norway. So I don't have my makeup on in the airport, and I was carrying a huge backpack. And the flight attendants came to me. She was like, oh, honey, where's your parents? And I was so confused because it was my first time traveling to Western country. And I thought she just wanted to know if I'm traveling alone or this and that, like for the flight checking or something. And I said, they're in China. And then she's like, oh, why are you here? Do you want me to help, like, call your parents or this and that? Like, and I'm, like, so confused. And then, you know what, like, I'm very short, right? And everybody in, like, Norway, they're super tall. And then I just realized that she thought I'm a kid, that I couldn't find my parents. Especially, I looked kind of confused because it was my first time traveling to Western countries. So I was, like, looking around with a huge backpack. And whenever I asked for the wine on the flight, they always asked my age because they always thought that I'm underage. I guess I just look too young. I mean, it's good for me, though. Maybe when I'm, like, 30 years old, I can still look, like, 24, 23.
It may only be 6 p.m., but that does not stop me from getting ready for bed. It's just so refreshing getting all the makeup off your face, like especially in the summer when you're in the sun, like it's just like sticky and gross. Also, look at my blister from golf. I was literally at the range for 3.5, almost 4 hours today because I was working on my putting and chipping, and it took me so long. Like, so long. Because when I tell you guys, my short game is quite questionable. Oh, I'm not lying. But you know what? It's fine, because we're gonna lock in and we're gonna fix it. So, it's fine. My back just feels like it's gonna fall off, but nothing that, like, some stretching won't fix, right? Also, guys, I'm leaving for summer camp soon. Well, not really soon, in like 2-3 weeks, and I'm so excited. I was supposed to go to South Carolina this week with my boyfriend, and I can't go because plane tickets are outrageously expensive, okay? Like, $1,100. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not paying $1,100 for flights right now. Like, I just took that same trip, like, a couple months ago, and it was $400. So, I don't know. But I'm just gonna pretend like it's AI because, yeah. Also, I have nothing else to do in my day besides golf, so that's all I do, and I do some schoolwork, but I'm almost done. And then golf more, and then get ready for bed, then sleep, and repeat. And yes, I look chopped, but I don't care, okay? I don't care. But I'm gonna clean my room and finish some more schoolwork, and then probably watch YouTube because I'm a little YouTube iPad kid and I do not care and I'm not afraid to admit it. And then I'm gonna go to sleep. Oh, and probably FaceTime Nico. But besides that, my night is jam-packed, ladies. Anyways, that's it for my get ready with me. I love you all so much, and don't forget Jesus loves you. And I know in Texas right now it's like 9 almost, so good night, y'all, if y'all are going to bed. Bye, y'all.
How do you go from being an absolute jerk to then hitting on the person you were an absolute jerk to? And this isn't an isolated event, okay? So I was at a bar with a couple girly pops last night, and we were sitting at the bar. Sitting is an important distinction. I even went so far as to put my purse on the bar. I stood up from the bar stool to adjust my pants. A simple task. And this man that had been looming behind me for the past 5 minutes or so, as soon as I stood up, sat down in my bar stool. That's a cute purse you have there, bud. And I look at him, shocked and appalled, and he just pretends I'm not there. And so I grab my purse from across him. Mind you, I have to reach over him to grab my purse and my phone. And then I just put my arm down on the bar. Because I wasn't in the mood to argue with this man, but I did want it to be known that that was my spot at the bar at that time. And mind you, there were 4 of us all sitting next to each other. So now he was just sitting in the middle of this group of 3 girls and me standing behind him. Unbothered. After a little bit, as he continues ignoring me, he orders a drink and continues sitting down, having the best time of his life unbothered. And at one point, he looks over and sees my arm on the table, looks up at me and goes, "You have some really nice tattoos," and continues to try to start a conversation with me. And I look at his arms, and his right arm is in a cast with his middle finger also in a cast. And I said, "Thanks, nice cast you have there. How does someone manage to break a middle finger and an arm at the same time? How'd you do that?" And he did not look happy. He could see that I was annoyed. And listen, it's not that big of a deal, but it's like a social norm. It's kind of like when you've been waiting for someone to back out of a parking space, so you've been waiting with your turn signal on, and then the person finally backs out and someone just comes and steals the space. Like, it's just rude. One time I was out and about with some friends, and this man spilled his full drink on me, made eye contact with me, walked away, and then later that night came up to me and started hitting on me. I don't know if he just didn't remember that from like an hour prior, but what's up with that?
You are not taking full advantage of pretty privilege. I literally have a guy who sends me money, buys me things, and wants to fly me out to marry me. And I keep on rejecting him, and he's doing all of it because he thinks I'm pretty. Not like a sugar daddy. Like, this guy is like around my age. And I've never done anything with him. Nothing sus. One of my friends that I've been friends with for a few years has a friend who she grew up with here who now lives in California, okay? Like, he moved out to California when they were like 14, I want to say. One day, my friend posted a picture of me on her story, and I was holding like a foot-long like hot dog from Sonic. Love Sonic. This friend of hers who lives in California screenshots the story, sends it to her, and says, "She's so beautiful, what's her snap?" I add him, obviously. If you don't know, if you're new here, I don't date guys. Like, I'm lesbian. I say I'm lesbian. Technically, you could say I'm bi because I find guys, like, physically attractive, but not in a, like, serious romantic way. Anyways, like, despite that, I'm, like, talking to him because, like, it doesn't have to be anything serious. I'm always down for friends. Anyways, very quickly he forms a pretty intense crush on me and is texting my friend whenever I don't respond, being like, can you tell Sophie to text me back? Can you tell Sophie to call me? Can you tell Sophie to, reach out to me, whatever. Whenever me and my friend were hanging out, we would FaceTime him and he'd always be like, you're so gorgeous, like, you look like you're from California. I guess because I'm tan and blonde, I don't know. I told him I'm lesbian, by the way. I've probably told him I'm lesbian like 50 times. And it doesn't stop him from being interested. He texts my friend being like, is there anything I can do that would convince her to, like, be with me? Anyways, one day I'm sitting in a parking lot with my friend, we're FaceTiming him, and I tell him, this was during my unemployed era, okay? I've had a few unemployed eras. During one of my unemployed eras, I was so broke. I think I literally like $2 in my bank account, and I lost my hairbrush, okay? And I just get like plastic hairbrushes from Target. Like, I'm not like picky, you know? I start ranting to him about how I like lost my hairbrush and I can't find it. I think I left it at my friend's apartment. I don't have enough money to fill up my gas tank to go and drive to the city to pick it up. My friend tells him, like, you should buy Sophie a hairbrush. He's like, do you want one? And I was like, I literally, like, obviously I want one. Obviously I want one. I didn't think he was actually going to get me a hairbrush. He's like, do you want a wooden hairbrush? And I was like, I don't care if it's like a little tiny plastic one from the front of a salon. Like, I just need something to run through my hair. Like, I actually don't care. He's like, okay, what's your address? Text me your address. I text him my address, which is kind of dumb. But like, then again, he's like friends with one of my friends. Like, I know he's not like a creepy random, okay? Anyways, he's like, okay, check your mail tomorrow. I just ordered one for you. I'm like, right. He then texts me the next day and he's like, check your mailbox. I go to my mailbox at my apartment. I open it up. I pull out a package. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's serious. Like, he literally ordered me a hairbrush. Not only that, I open it up and it's not like a plastic brush. It's like a wooden brush. And I didn't even know what he meant. I thought he meant like wooden comb. Okay? It's a wooden $35 hairbrush. Overnight shipped from like a professional salon. Anyways, he then is asking my friend again if there's anything he can do to like make me like him. She's like, she's gay. Like, she's not gonna date you. He then is asking like, will she fly out to see me? Will you guys both fly out to see me? Like, you guys can both come. You can stay at my place. I start joking with him like, yeah, I'm gonna like kick you out of your house and steal your bed and like I'm gonna move to California and blah blah blah. And he's like, you guys should fly out. You should see me, whatever. And then he's texting my friend and he's like, when she flies out, I want to marry her. Like, when she flies out, we're going to the courthouse and we're getting married. Then probably a month and a half ago, he texts me and like, I don't have Snap anymore. Like, this is all an iMessage at this point. He texts me and he's like, when can I fly you out? And I was like, well, I don't have a real ID. I really need to get a real ID, by the way. Side note, if you know me and you're watching this video, please, somebody come with me to get my real ID. But that's aside. Just total sidebar there. But anyways, I was like, I don't have my real ID, but I can probably come out in like June if you pay for the ticket. And he's like, yeah, I'll pay for the ticket. Like, I want to see you. Anyways, don't know if I'm going to go through with that one. If I do get a real ID, might do it. Let me know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. Not really down to get married at the courthouse. But basically, if a guy thinks you're pretty, it'll get you flown out. It'll get you free stuff. Like, don't underestimate the power of beauty subjectively. I hope this word doesn't come across as me thinking like I'm so gorgeous. I don't really think that. I think I'm average, obviously, but like, anyways, basically, if a guy thinks you're pretty, you should expect stuff.
I had a Ring camera in my room for 7 years. Get ready with me while I tell you things that my parents did that I thought were normal. Ever since I was like 9 or 10, that's because late at night I went on the iPad and my mom found out that I was watching YouTube, Sniper Wolf. She took my iPad away for 2 weeks and put a Ring camera in my room. And she's like, once you behave, I can remove the camera. I was behaving and it was still there. So in my old apartment, I didn't have a closet, so they just had the Ring camera pointed straight at me while I was changing. And back then I didn't think anything of it. I don't know why. And when we moved to our new house, they still had it in my room, and occasionally they would change the spots so I wouldn't see the camera. That's when I did have a closet, so I was kind of okay with it. But whenever I was on the phone calling my friends, they would like watch me through the camera or watch, like, it's just like, it's such an invasion of privacy. Like, I felt so uncomfortable. And now present today, once we moved into our new apartment, I was like, I don't want the Ring camera in my room because I feel uncomfortable. And they were like, okay, we're gonna make an exception, but you can't go on the phone late at night. I'm like, I haven't done that in years. I do it occasionally because what the fuck? Like, strict parents raise sneaky kids. A couple months ago, I was calling my friend and I forgot the curfew, and my parents yelled at me. They're like, get off the phone. I was like, oh wait, what time is it? And then it was really late and I didn't even notice that. And they were like, oh well, okay, if you know the rules, blah blah blah, I don't know how you forget. If you go on the phone again, we're gonna put the Ring camera in your room and we're gonna take your door down. And I was like, oh wait, I don't have like a closet like to change. And then they're like, just like go to the bathroom and change. And the bathroom is like across, like, bro. And I was like, do you even know what like privacy is? Like, I need my privacy. My dad's like, what's privacy? What's privacy? Oh my god. Oh, number one rage baiter. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna take your door down, put up a Ring camera. I don't care. You could just change in the bathroom. What's wrong with that, bro? And then he's like, I don't know what privacy is. Tell me what privacy is. And I was like, well, I need my own room to change. And he's like, just change in the bathroom. I thought having a Ring camera in your room was normal, until I started seeing videos on TikTok where kids had it in their room, and then the comments were like, oh, that's not normal. That's not normal. Like, bro, I fucking hate this song. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas, and you guys deserve the world, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Hi, hello, how are you? Hope you're well. I have a question. What is going on with men? I want to know where they get the audacity. So I just got back from the gym. I went and did like my little Coles shopping, you know, like getting my Cocoa Bella, whatever. I'm walking out the shops and I had my headphones on because it's broad daylight. It's safe to walk around with headphones. Like, you're good. I'm still very aware of my surroundings because I watch a lot of crime podcasts. So I'm like, you know, for some reason, I did not notice anyone watching me, didn't notice anyone following me. I get into my freaking car and my car is on, the headphones off. I'm about to fucking drive and I hear at my window and I'm like, the fuck? And it's this guy and he's standing there and he's got like a protein, like one of those up and go drinks. He was holding it and I was like, oh, maybe he thinks like I dropped it. I'm not stupid. If it was nighttime and Nora was alone or something, like I wouldn't be opening the door. Anyway, I open the door, I look at him and I'm like, hello? He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't usually do this, but like, I've flown down from Queensland, like I'm new to Melbourne, like I'm just here for a few days on business, and like you're just like the best looking chick that I've seen here. Brother, have you opened your eyes? I can spot 5 chicks over there that look like they've just come off a catwalk. I'm like trying to be like, oh, like, thank you, like I appreciate it. He's like, yeah, you're just like, you know, like, and he's just yamming on about where he's from in Queensland. I'm trying to be nice. I was like, you should hit up like Fitzroy, hit around the city, like go to Crown or something. And like, yeah, there's plenty of like really nice girls there. Like you'll probably find someone. And he was like, oh, well, no, I don't have time to go clubbing because I'm here on business and I have my own business and I work 7 days a week and I'm here on business. So I don't have time. So you don't have time to go to Crown, but you have time to follow girls in supermarkets to their car and think that that's normal. Anyway, he's yapping. He's mentioned his business like 6,000 times and like I'm guessing he's trying to like talk about how much money he has, which I just don't care about. Anyway, he's hammering on and then he's like, yeah, so you're just like blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah, like thank you, like I appreciate it, but I'm into girls. And he looks at me, he's like, oh. And then he starts going on about other things and I was like, I don't fucking care. Oh my god, shut up. And then he brings it back and he's like, okay, well, you know, just like, let me know if you change your mind on your sexuality. And I was like, what did you just say? I look at him and I was like, not going to happen. Appreciate it though. Have a good one. And he's like, oh, well, you must have been with your fair share of bad men. But you know, anyway, have a good day. And he walks away and I was like, you said that. And then so quickly we're like, okay, anyway, bye. Because you knew I was ready to fucking clap back at your ass. No one has to be with a man to know their sexuality. I could look at you and be like, well, how do you know you're not gay? How do you know you don't like it up the bum if you've never tried? I think I'm just extra pissy with men being so fucking uneducated and insensitive about sexualities because yesterday we got called the F slur. Although I did clock them very quickly and I turned around and was like, can't pull any girls. That sucks. They were not happy about that. Anyway, this isn't to say like, don't go up to girls and like, approach them. Wouldn't have had an issue. But when you're following me to my car, that's one thing. You're knocking on my window, that's a second thing. And then when you're being so dismissive of my fucking sexuality, that's a whole other thing. And I wanted to punch this man in the face. Anyway, thanks for coming, guys. Bye.
Get ready with me for Valentine's Day while I tell you guys how I got cheated on. Gotta cover up these freaking bruises. Now, I did tell him that I was not gonna talk about this on TikTok, but this is literally my therapy page, so I'm talking about it. So I'm not gonna even bother asking him right now to not watch this video because I know he's gonna watch it, so hi Liam. So I met this guy on Tinder like 2 years ago. We knew each other for a year and then we ended up dating for a year. And if you haven't watched my other videos, you might not know that I have vaginismus, which basically means I can't have sex. Wow. There's the story right there of how I got cheated on. Okay, I'm joking. Anyways, so going into the relationship, I knew this was something that was gonna be a problem because he very much was, wanted to have sex. And this was the time that like I was going to physiotherapy. I felt really confident about everything and I was like, you know what, this is something that I can fix real soon. Like, give me a month or two. Throughout the relationship though, I felt like my desire to fix it and all that just kind of died out. Like, I was just not motivated to do my exercises, and 1 month became 2 months, became 6 months, became 8 months, became a year. And if you can't tell, yeah, I do blame myself a lot for it, which is so bad because like, yeah, sure, he didn't wait for me, but like there must have been a guy out there that would have. He even had asked me for an open relationship at one point and I was like, no. And I was kind of like, if you break up with me just to go and have sex with people, I'm never getting back together with you. And yeah, that was immature of me to say, but he should have been responsible and just broken up with me anyways if that's what he really wanted. And then once I fixed my issues, then maybe eventually we would get back together. And so I think at like the 1 year mark, eventually I was like, you know what? It's been way too long. I'm gonna break up with you. I'm gonna work on myself. You do whatever you want to do and I'm gonna fix myself because I just can't be in a relationship and fix my vaginismus. Like, it doesn't work. I'm too anxious around you. I'm gonna be thinking, oh my god, it's been a whole year. All that stuff's gonna be racing through my mind. I'm gonna be like, it's just not gonna help. And there were a lot more other issues with our relationship, including the fact that I was literally this man's mother. But this was like one of the main reasons why we broke up. So yeah, I think there were a lot of other reasons too as to why like my motivation to like be able to have sex was just gone, if that makes sense. But I obviously still loved him and I knew it was something very important to him and I was willing to work on it. So I did break up with him. We were kind of talking here and there for like a month or two. And then I got Botox in my vagina and I was getting really hopeful because my progression with my exercises just became so much better. And I was like, oh my God, literally in a month, like I might be good. And he absolutely loved me. Like, he wanted nothing more than to be with me, or so he said. And so we went on like 2 dates, I think, post breakup. So we were broken up for 2 months, I think. Bro, I didn't even care if it felt good or not. I just wanted to be able for it to not hurt so I could like please him. Because it affects your womanhood, like you feel like less of a woman if you can't do that for someone, or that's how I felt. Check out part 2 for how I found out.